Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, in this video lecture, we are going to learn about ratios and proportionals. And this is the first lecture of week 10 for the course Mathematics 1.
All, I want to tell you about the definition of a ratio. A ratio is the comparison of two or more numbers. Numbers mean quantities. Suppose we have two quantities, in this example, we have two quantities. There are 8 girls and 7 boys in a class. Then the ratio is the comparison of these two quantities, 8 girls and 7 boys. Ratio is the comparison of two or more quantities. Like here we have two quantities. So when we compare these two quantities, then this is called the ratio of these two quantities. So the ratio of girls to boys is 8 to 7. And dear students, note that ratio has no units. Why ratio has no units? Because we can write 8 to 7 by 8 by 7, 8 by 7. And the rules for the ratio is that these two quantities have the same unit. Then suppose we have 8 meter or 7 meter, then meter cancel. So there is no unit for the result in the ratio. Now, since I have told you in the previous slide that there are no units for the ratios, so for the rules I want to tell you that there are three ways to write ratios. Number one, write the ratio using the word 2 between the two numbers being compared. When we are compare two numbers, then write this word 2. This word 2 represent the ratio between the two quantities. For example, there are 8 girls and 5 boys in my class. What is the ratio of girls to boys? Then the ratio is 8 girls to 5 boys. And we can write 8 to 5. So the three ways which represent the ratio between two quantities. The first way is this, to write the word 2 between the two numbers being compared. And secondly, write a ratio using a column between the two numbers being compared. For example, there are 3 apples and 4 oranges in the basket. What is the ratio of apples to orange? We can write the ratio of apples to orange as 3 apples to 4 orange. So we can use this column between these two quantities, 3 ratio 4. This symbol called ratio between these two quantities. Now the third way is to write a ratio as a fraction, and then we can write this fraction as a decimal. So a ratio can be represented by three ways. Like suppose we have two real numbers a and b, then the ratio between a and b can be written as a to b, a colon b, a ratio b, or a divided by b. So from this third way, dear students, note that we can convert a ratio into a fraction, and then the fraction can be converted by into a decimal form. Now, for example, there are 13 boys and 17 girls in 6th grade class. Then how we can present this quantities by ratio, since I have already told you that there are three ways to write the ratio between the boys and girls in this example. So we can write 13 to 17. This is the first way. To use this word 2, we can present the ratio between two quantities, or using this symbol we can present the ratio between quantities, or using the fraction, we can present the ratio between quantities. So there are three ways by which we can present the ratio between quantities. Use this word to use this symbol, or use the fraction symbol. We can write 13 to 17. This represents the ratio between boys and girls in this example, or 13 ratio 17 represent ratio between boys and girls, or 13 by 7 represent the ratio between 13 boys and 17 girls in this example. Now, rules for solving ratio problems. As I have already told you that the first rule the first rule is that to use any one of the way from these ways. So this is the first way to represent the ratio between the quantities by using two word, using this colon symbol, or using fraction. But other rule is that when we writing ratios, the number should be written in the order in which the problem asks for them. For example, we have 4 girls and 7 boys in a class. Then what will be the ratio of girls to boy? Now, dear students, note the hints for this question. The question asks for girls to boys. Therefore, girls will be listed first in the ratio. Don't mistake when we are performing the ratio between quantities. Put that quantity which asks at first position. So in this question, ask for girls to boys. Therefore, girls will be listed first in the ratio. So we can write 4 girls to 7 boys, and 4 girls ratio 7 boys, or 4 girls divided by 7 boys. So this is the first important rule for representing the ratio between quantities from the descriptions. We have a description. There are 4 girls and 7 boys in a class. So this is the description. Now how to present this description by ratio. First of all, put that quantities for which ask first. So in this question, girls to boys. Therefore, girls will be listed first. So 4 girls to 7 boys, or 4 girls colon 7 boys, or 4 divided by 7. Now the second rule is I have already told you in the previous slide that the unit of two quantities will be same when we present the quantities by ratio. For example, in this question, we have one quantity 15 meter and other quantity is in kilometer. So 15 meter ratio to kilometer. So this is a very important rule. Since ratio have no unit, so the unit will be both these quantities will be same. So kilometer change to meter. First of all, convert this kilometer to meter, or meter to kilometer. So we can write 15 ratio to 1000. There are 1000 and 1 kilometer, 1000 meter and 1 kilometer. So 2 kilometer will be equal to 2000 meter. So 15 meter ratio 2000 meter, and now we can write 15 ratio 2000. And the simplest form of this ratio is 3 ratio 400. Dividing both sides by 5, we can write 3 ratio 400. And the second example for this rule, 135 seconds and 1.5 minutes. So convert the minutes to second. Which quantity will be converted to the other quantity? Convert the largest unit to the smallest unit. Since in these two units, second is the smallest unit for the time. So convert the minutes to second. We can write 135 ratio 90 second. 135 second ratio 90 second. So the simplest form of this ratio is 3 ratio 2. Now, reducing ratios. Ratios can be reduced without changing their relationship. For example, in this example, we have two boys and four girls. There are two boys ratio of four girls. Now we can reduce this ratio by simplifying the ratio 2 and the 2 and 2 to the 4. So this is the reducing of the ratio 1 ratio 2. And if the simplification is possible, then we can reduce the units, the ratios. Now, how to reduce the ratio if necessary? I want to tell you again by this example. Reduce means to break down a fraction or ratio into the lowest form, into the simplest form if possible. Reduce mean smaller number. Operation will always be division. When having to reduce ratios, it is better to set up the ratio in the vertical form. First of all, write the ratio in the vertical form and then simplify the ratio of two quantities. Locate the number in this ratio. 14 ratio 45. 14 to 45 mean 14 ratio 45. And we can write by the third way of representing the ratio 14 to 45, 40 to 45, 40 ratio 45, or we can write 40 divided by 45. Now, what number can you divide both these numbers? There are number which divide 14 and which divide 45. So first of all, find the factors of 40. The factor of 40s are 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20 and 40. And similarly, the factor of 45, 1, 3, 5, 9, 15 and 45. 40 is divisible by 1, by 2, by 4, by 5, by 8, by 10, by 20 and by 40. Similarly, 45 divisible by 1, 3, 5, 9, 15 and 45. So in these factors, there is one common factor which is 5. So simplify this ratio by 5, divide 40 by 5 and divide 45 by 5. We obtain the simplest form of this ratio is 8 by 9. This is called reducing the ratio. Now, ratio word problems. For example, the ratio of the angles of a triangle is in the ratio 2, ratio 2, ratio 5. What is the measure of each angle? How to solve a word problem for a ratio? Suppose in this example, the length, the measure of the one angle is x. Then the measure of the first angle will be 2x. The measure of the second angle will be 2x. And the measure of the third angle will be 5x. So sum of the ratio is equal to 2x plus 2x plus 5y, and sum of the ratios here in this example, total measure of the angles of the triangle, which is equal to 180. Now 2x plus 2x plus 5 is equal to 9x, and 9x is equal to 180. So dividing both sides by 9, we obtain x is equal to 20. So the measure of the one angle is 20, and similarly the measure of the uh, angle in this example, now the first angle 2x, so 2 multiplied 20 is equal to 40, and 2 multiplied 20 is also equal to 40, and 5 multiplied 20 is equal to 100. So adding these three results, we can verify our result. 40 plus 40, 80, plus 100 is equal to 180. Now another example, the ratio of boys to girls in a class is 3:4. The class has 35 students. How many boys and girls are in the classes? So Dear students, first of all, point out the total. The total students in a class is 35. Now, ratio for the quantities is boys to girls. Boys call first position and girls call second position. So the ratio can be written as boys ratio girls. This is the rules for the representing the ratio between quantities, boys ratio girls. Now the boy ratio is 3 and the girls ratio is 4. So now sum of the ratio is 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Now we can write the number of boy students in the class, and this is the sum of the ratio. In the sum of the ratio, the number of boy students is 3. So how many number of boys in total? 35. So after simplify, 7 1 the 7, 7 5 the 35, and 3 5 the 15. Now number of girl students, 4. In the sum of the ratio is 7, and 7 the number of ratio to the girl student is 4. So we can write 4 multiplied 35 divided by 7. 7 on the 7, 7 5 the 35, and 5 4 the 20. So there are 15 boys in the class and 20 girls in the class, and we can verify our result to add these two numbers. 15 plus 20 is equal to 35, and 35 is the total number of students in the class. So the result is correct. Now next topic here in this lecture is proportional. What is a proportional? A proportion is an quantity is an equation that says one ratio is equal to another ratio. It's mean comparison between two equal ratios. This is the first ratio of two quantities and this is the second ratio of two quantities. So proportion is an equation that says one ratio is equal to another ratio. To determine a proportion through cross multiply. For example, we want to verify this proportion. For the verification, first of all, using cross multiplication, 4 multiplied 25 and 5 multiplied 20, 4 multiplied 25 and 5 multiplied 20, 25 the 100, and 4 multiplied 25 is also equal to 100. So the result of this cross multiplication is equal. So therefore 4 by 5 and 20 by 25, these two ratios are now in proportion. Now solving the proportional. How to solve a proportional symbol? As I have already told you that first of all using cross multiplication, then divide both sides by the number connected to the variable, and then check the answer to see if it makes a true proportional. For example, in this example we have two ratios in proportional. 25 52 divided by 7, this is the first ratio of quantity and this is the second ratio of quantity. N divided by 7, n is the unknown quantity value. So first of all, using cross multiplication, 4 multiplied n and 52 multiplied 7. Now we can write 4n by 4 and 364 divided by 4. Now since 4 is connected to the variable, so dividing both sides by this 4, we can write the unknown variable. Dividing both sides by 4, 4 and 4 cancel, n is equal to 364 divided by 4 is equal to 91. So in this example the value of unknown n is 91. Now it's come out equal when putting 91 into the given proportional. For example, this is the given proportion. 52 divided by 4 is equal to n divided by 7. So 52 divided by 4 is equal to 91 divided by 7. Again using the cross multiplication to check the result. 52 multiplied 7 and 91 multiplied 4, we get 364 is equal to 364. So the result for the proportional is true. Now, another example, dear students, note that we can denote a proportion by like these four dots: 60.